There's nothing quite like a Ford Mustang, and plenty is different about this improved 6th generation version. What hasn't changed is the original model's mantra of plenty of power at an affordable price. That's served up both in this fastback coupe guise or in convertible form. In either case, you get a car that'll make you feel alive, and there's nothing quite like it. Respect the rumble.
So, what's it like? Well, settle in, and whether you go for the fastback coupe we have here or the alternative convertible body style, a Mustang is of course very different to the kind of European hot hatch or sports car that you could buy for the same kind of money. Fortunately though, when you fire up the engine, well, that sounds very different too. Here we've got the 5-litre V8, which remains normally aspirated, but in this revised model gets a 30 PS power boost to 450 PS. Ford's also tweaked the alternative 2.3-litre 4-cylinder EcoBoost power plant, reducing its output slightly to 290 PS, but increasing pulling power to 440 Newton meters in compensation. Either way, there's now the option of an improved 10-speed automatic gearbox if you don't like the 6-speed manual transmission that we're trying here. That auto has been configured to work with a selectable drag strip driving mode, which irons out the torque and power drop-off which you'd normally get between gear shifts, so it's just one seamless burst of acceleration. Other driving modes tweak throttle response, steering feel and gear shift timings if you have the auto box. These settings can now alter suspension feel if you specify the optional Magnaride adaptive damping system that we'd recommend. There's a launch control mode that you'll need if you're going to match this V8 manual fastback model's quoted 5.8 second rest 62 miles an hour sprint time, and what Ford calls line lock, which is there to help you do smoky tyre burnouts. It's probably best not to try that on the high street though. What else? Well, the manual gearbox now has rev matching technology, which emotively blips the throttle on downshifts, and there's a thunderous active exhaust system as standard on the V8. Autonomous braking and lane departure warning tech now come fitted as standard too, and there's been a marginal but not especially significant improvement in efficiency. This V8 manual fastback version is capable of 22.7 miles per gallon on the combined cycle and 277 grams per kilometre of CO2. You don't have to be a committed petrol head to know what this car is. In fact, Ford's so confident in the global recognition this model enjoys that the word Mustang doesn't appear anywhere on the bodywork. It helps, of course, that this iconic shape has been seen in so many films and TV shows. Most memorably, of course, the Bullitt movie and that car chase with Steve McQueen. This kind of instant recognition is priceless, and it explains why Ford's been so careful to keep the shape and style of the original 60s model while bringing it right up to date in this improved 6th generation guise. Get up close and personal, and if you happen to be familiar with the original version of this 6th generation model, then you'll probably quickly clock the changes which have been made to this improved design with its lower bonnet line and restyled LED headlights. So let's take a seat inside, where changes have been promised to the rather down-market interior which characterised the original version of Ford's 6th generation pony car design. Well, we'll see. Well, it's certainly an improvement. In this revised model, classier soft-touch materials feature for the door linings, and the door handles are now fashioned from aluminium. If you are a potential Mustang buyer, then you'll probably be someone who, well, quite likes this cabin's rather old-school feel. Now, the pre-facelift model's deeply cowled dials used to add to that, but they have now been replaced by the customisable, all-digital 12-inch LCD instrument cluster that you view through this classic dished 3-spoke sports wheel. Time to take a seat in the back. Getting in is awkward thanks to this low roof line. And once you are in place, despite the fact this car is about the same length as a Ford Mondeo, you'll find that there's virtually no legroom at all unless the person in front is of less than average height. Finally, let's deal with boot space. Now, you might expect to have to compromise in this regard with such an uncompromising sports car, but think again. True, there is quite a high loading lip and the opening's fairly narrow, but you can't argue with the amount of space on offer, given the inevitable limitations of a car of this kind. This fastback coupe model will hold 408 litres in what the Americans would call the trunk. That's about the same as a rival Mercedes-AMG C43 Coupe, so you'll be okay with a couple of medium-sized suitcases. I know you're no good for me, sang Martha Reeves and the Vandellas from the back of a Mustang convertible on the Dearborn production line back in '65. And a Mustang may not be. But if you yearn for the days when affordable sports cars were all about power, thunder and tyre-smoking machismo, you're going to want one of these just the same. A BMW or Audi coupe is a very nice thing to have, but it'll never be the model you always promised yourself in the way that a Mustang can be. This is, after all, more than just a sports car. It's the heart and soul of Ford.